and welcome back to a brand new episode of Audio Inside Scoop, and welcome back to another episode featuring the Klipsch Detroit. In the last episode, I did a more review style format to give you guys eyes on the product as soon as it released. Today we got in our JBL speakers. We've got the Charge 5 and the Extreme 3, so we can start jumping into our head-to-head compares. Starting with the Detroit versus the JBL Charge, we'll get rocking and kind of see how they stack up. As mentioned in the last episode though, we are not done after this. The Detroit seems to fall right in between the Charge and the Extreme, so when considering these, you guys may be considering all three. As such, I'm going to compare the Detroit versus the Charge today, Detroit versus Extreme next. Hopefully this helps you guys decide if you're in the market for one of these speakers. Before we move forward though, let me get this out of the way. Please guys, hit that like and subscribe button below. This channel is still very new. It still has zero funding, zero corporate sponsorships, or really any funds of any kind. So all of these products are coming out of my pocket and they get expensive. So if you guys could hit that like and subscribe button, it will really help us get this thing off the ground. Also, I'll be doing giveaways in the future, and liking and subscribing will let you know when those are happening. Now that that's out of the way, Klipsch is already out of the box, so let's pull out the Charge and we can go over some specs. All right, here it is, the Charge 5. All right, so here we have our Charge 5 Quick Start Guide and our warranty registration, product registration. Also included is going to be your charging cable. So I'm going to set all this off to the side and let's pull out the speaker itself. And there it is, the JBL Charge 5. All right, here it is guys, the Klipsch Detroit side by side with the JBL Charge 5. Quick note before we go any further though, what are you guys' thoughts on a Detroit versus Nashville versus Austin video? How about a clip versus flip versus Charge versus Extreme video? Maybe kind of cool to see what you get when you step up in the series. Let me know in the comments if that's something you guys would like to see. Anyways, let's start with the size and shape as per usual. Just design-wise, we have a more rounded versus square design when we're looking at Klipsch versus JBL in general. We see this throughout the lineup. That said, shape isn't the only difference we are looking at. There is a significant difference in size here, as you can see. The Charge is 8.7 inches by 3.8 inches by 3.7 inches. The Detroit is 13.1 inches by 4.2 inches by 4.68 inches. As for weight, the Charge is 2.11 pounds, and the Detroit is more than double that at 5.4 pounds. Will that extra weight translate to sound output and capabilities though? We'll have to wait and see. Now, sound mentioned. Let's dive down that rabbit hole. The Charge spec sheet shows a frequency range of 60 Hz to 20 kHz, and the Detroit is showing 55 Hz to 20 kHz. So on paper, the Detroit will have a bit more dig than the JBL. Excited to see what these look like in real world scenarios though. I'll also note here that both manufacturers offer an app to EQ your speakers to your liking, which will be pretty great for those that like to tweak and those like me that like to tinker a little bit with those settings. As for battery, they are both rechargeable using an included USB-C cable. Both offer reverse charging capability, so if your speaker is still full but your phone is almost dead, plug your phone into the speaker and it'll charge your phone and keep the party going. Both show a battery life of 20 hours of listening before needing recharge. While mostly similar in this category, one slight advantage in the Detroit is that it only takes 2 hours to come to a full charge, whereas the JBL will take 4 hours. Very slight difference, but still worth noting. Now, as for connectivity, similar to the previous compares, JBL is utilizing Bluetooth 5.1 while Klipsch is using 5.3. Another subtle variance that most users won't notice, but the newer iteration of Bluetooth will increase your battery life, have less interference, enhanced security, and better overall quality of the connection. That said, again, JBL is not at fault for being behind in this category. Like I've said in previous episodes, the JBLs, the Charge 5, the Flip 6, these are all a couple years old at this point. And I imagine when the next generation of JBL speakers comes out, the Flip, Clip, whatever, they are going to have the latest generation of Bluetooth, I would imagine. Additionally, in connectivity, I need to mention the ability to connect to other speakers and boost your sound. Klipsch has a broadcast mode and JBL has party boost. With both, you can have wireless stereo pairing or connect multiple speakers together and stream to them simultaneously. So with both speakers, if you and your friends have a bunch of these things or many speakers that support this feature, you can place them all over and play to them all at once. Unfortunately though, it does seem to be brand specific proprietary stuff, so no, we can't use the JBL connected to the Klipsch. We can connect up and down with compatible speakers within the brand though, so you can connect a Nashville to a Detroit and to an Austin and play them all simultaneously. You can connect a Charge to a Flip to an Extreme, but Charge to Detroit, that's a no-go. Sorry guys. Lastly, in connectivity, I will mention that the Detroit has a microphone while the Charge does not. This means that you can take a call directly through your speaker. It is a Bluetooth button right here. You just push the Bluetooth button, it'll answer a call, and that same button will also hang up the speaker. Now, let's talk about appearance. Like the Austin and the Nashville, the Detroit is what most people are looking for out of a portable speaker like this. Portable, plain, black, no frills appearance-wise, all about the sound. In the JBL, you have that standard black option available. You have that standard no frills option available, but the JBL also offers a ton of different color options so you can customize it kind of to your liking. On the JBL website, you can even add pictures or logos and completely customize it to exactly what you want. One thing I've kind of been thinking about on this front is maybe if this channel gets big enough, I'll make a custom inside scoop, flip, or charge or whatever for a giveaway. What do you guys think? Would you guys like to see one of those at your house? Would you guys like a new inside scoop travel companion? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's dive into some other lifestyle aspects, as well as the ruggedness of both. Both are IP67 rated, which means not only is it waterproof at 1 meter for 30 minutes, but it also has dust proofing, so you should be safe taking both of these guys anywhere. As always though, I'm going to mention that waterproofing on any electronic will degrade over time, and as such, you may use these in harsh conditions sparingly. I say it every time, but do what you want with your speakers. If you want to toss it in a pool every time you use it, that's fine. Finally, let's talk about price. The Charge is currently $179 and the Detroit retails for $100 more at $299, so pretty significant price difference there. As mentioned before though, the reason I'm comparing with such a price gap is because Klipsch falls right in the middle of the two JBLs in the product line. When we jump into the Extreme, the price gap will be present there as well, but flipped with the JBL coming in higher. We'll see how that goes as well. Which one's going to be better? Is it worth the difference in price to grab the Detroit, or is the JBL going to take the win due to its price versus performance ratio? We're going to go out and do our tests, our regular four-wheeler, woods, all that kind of tests, and we will see. We'll get back to you on that. One note I'm going to make first though is it is a rainy mess outside, and it's planning to be that way for the next couple of days. So most likely when we do this test as well as the Extreme tests, we're going to see a lot of rain, we're going to see a lot of mud, and we're really going to put that IP67 rating to the tests. Anyways, stay tuned guys. I'll be right back with the results of my tests. All right, I am back and both speakers may still be a little bit wet. Now, I tested these guys in many environments, pretty much the same environments as the Austin, the Klipsch, the Nashville, the Flip, because, well, that worked. Again, starting with this room, in addition to regular listening here, I did do some white noise tests, and I also pulled out the meter here to give some readings. And now, as I've said in other videos, don't compare these readings to the spec sheet. While they are great for comparing side by side, as the speakers are identical in placement and we're using both the same meter, the same distance, and so forth, this is not set up anywhere near the same as these would be in a lab. So anyways, next we move to the outdoors and on the go. Now, today, as I mentioned before, we are looking at a bit different of an environment outside. It is rainy, it is muddy, it is gross out, but it is fun. I ended up having to change pants before coming back because I did get a bit gross myself. May even still have some mud on my face now. I probably should have looked in the mirror before getting on camera. I first mounted both to the four-wheeler again because it is an awesome setup and people seem to be liking that part of the review. Here I am pulled over in the middle of the woods, a couple of different times having listening sessions out in the open, no walls, just trees. As I've said in other videos, I take this type of speaker camping with me on random excursions, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. This scenario feels like it will be a pretty regular one for a lot of people, as it is a portable speaker. I also tossed them both in puddles and in some mud and did a bit of a dunk test out here, so we can handle the dunk test a little bit differently this time. No issues with either after drying. However, as I've said in the Nashville and Austin video, the Klipsch does take a minute to dry out before it's back to its true self and sounding 100%. That is if it's fully submerged anyways. That said, most people, I think, take waterproofing as a precaution, and submerging probably isn't something that most intentionally do on a regular basis. Rain and splashing and everything seem to have no effect on it. If you regularly dunk your speakers, maybe something to consider, but if you're just getting splashes on it, no big deal. After it dried out, it was just fine. Now, after that, we moved on to various rooms, several different areas, tried it out in a bunch of different spots, varying sized rooms. After a while of playing with these, testing in various scenarios, I will finally give my overall opinion and breakdown on why you should go with one or the other in 4 categories: price, lifestyle, connectivity, and sound. If price is your primary concern, the JBL Charge is going to take it here. At $120 cheaper, that is an easy win for the Charge. But if you're watching this, you already knew the price difference. You're likely not watching to see which is cheaper, you're watching to see if the additional cost is money well spent. With that, let's move on to lifestyle. In lifestyle, I'm going to give this one to the Charge, but only slightly. Both of these guys are super rugged, both have the same waterproof rating, and both feel very solid in their overall build quality. The custom color options JBL has to offer gives it a slight lead, but not enough to push it over to a win. As you guys may know, I don't give a win just due to this alone, as you may have seen in the other videos, but size is a factor here. The smaller design does make the Charge a little bit more mobile, more compact. Everything else being a tie, I'm going to give the win to the Charge in this, but again, only slightly. As for connectivity, the Detroit is going to take a slight win in this category. Both offer reverse charging and a mode to support multi-speaker setups, but with the latest Bluetooth and the addition of a microphone, Klipsch pulls ahead by a bit here. Now, last but not least, let's talk about sound. Now, this is a tough one, but I feel like it is the most important category, at least to me. This category is where we really start to show the difference here. Now, I'm just going to come right out and say it, the Detroit wins hands down. The Detroit is louder and can maintain good sound at all volumes. It's more room filling, I feel like it's mixed significantly better, and has a good soundstage in all environments, including outdoors. It's also able to dig deeper, again, in all environments. Vocals were more crisp, depth of the music itself was great. Now, did the JBL sound good? Yes, yes it did. By itself, it sounded great in a lot of scenarios. The smaller footprint with the still great sound may be a better option for some. The Klipsch just sounded better, and it seemed to outperform the JBL in every way. At least in my opinion. That is my opinion, guys. As you guys are getting these speakers home and trying them out for the first time, let me know what you think. Do you agree? Are you hearing the same results as me? Let me know in the comments below. That's going to be about all I have for these two. For me, better sound is going to take the win, as it is what a speaker is all about. I'd personally take the Detroit all day in this race for sound alone. Couple extra bells and whistles here and there, but those alone wouldn't be enough for me to spend the extra and give the win to the Detroit, but the sound is the determining factor, so better sound to me is worth the price. For those of you guys looking to come in at a lower price point though and still have some awesome sound, the Charge is still great on its own. It's just not quite at the same tier as the Detroit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Did this help? Which one are you guys buying after watching this video? Do you guys own either of these speakers? Have any of you picked up the Detroit and gave it a listen yet? Anything I missed here that you'd like to see me cover in a future episode? I want to hear from you guys. Leave comments down below and let me know your thoughts. As promised, next I'm throwing the Detroit against the JBL Extreme. After that, we'll jump back into our Here With Me segments and mic them up and let you guys take a listen. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below before you go, and stay updated on new content as soon as it releases. Until next time though, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you soon for the next episode of Audio Inside Scoop.